G'day, boys! How the hell are we, lads? Drip Syntax got it in first. On your Drip Syntax. Who is this your alt of? You're someone who's been here a lot. This is your alt account. I remember you saying this is my alt. I don't remember whose it is. How are you, Bilal's good eye? How are you, Nacho? What's up, everybody? Top 3 grapplers, bloody Ben Rothwell, Brian Stan, and Danny bloody Barlow. I noticed you didn't bite on the bait that I put in today's video, Nacho. Well done to you, mate. Well done. He looks burnt out. Smash Burns. He looks burnt. He took Burns out. He smashed Burns. He did, Miguel. He bloody did, mate. How the hell are you, mate? What's good? What's good? How is everybody today? And we stop. And we chill. Josh, you're Josh. Yes, thank you, Drip Syntax. I needed that reminder. How is everybody? G'day. Happy Sunday to the Yanks out there. Happy Monday Arvo to the Australians out there. Happy, I guess, Sunday night to the Canadian brothers out there. And happy Monday morning to the English people. What's up? Good, good. Just chilling in Sacramento. Beautiful, mate. I'm sad you reminded me. What did I remind you about today's video? Sorry, mate. Yeah, it was a bit of fun, wasn't it, though? It was a bit of fun. We had a bit of fun with it. So finally, we're going to get to the top 30 grapplers in the UFC today. Why can't I hear the chill music? You guys can hear the chill music. I can see the little audio thing bouncing, but I can't hear the chill music. Why can't I hear the chill music? You guys can hear the chill. Now I can hear the chill music. That was weird. All right, whatever. It's the capital of California. Oh, nice, man. Islam is the best grappler. We are going to get into that today. I'm just checking MMA Twitter to see if there's any pertinent news that I've missed. I don't think there is. I think the MMA world is a little bit chilled at the moment. In fact, I think the only news that is out there right now is that Dana White got fired by Turki Al-Sheikh for promoting the Canelo fight because it's on the exact same night as UFC 320. Which I have a real strong feeling is going to be Islam Makhachev versus... Sorry, is going to be Yair Rodriguez versus Alexander Volkanovski. Alright, everybody is excited about Volk's revenge, but I don't hear many people talking about Barlow's revenge. You might be the only one excited about bloody Barlow's revenge, mate. I don't know if anyone else is. Jack is going to put Islam to sleep. Yes, Miguel, he is. Dana White will be retiring from the UFC this year, and Hunter will be picking things up. I believe that he will, mate. Yeah, I agree. Yair might catch Volk and put him out. I think Volk will follow a very smart game plan again and just take Yair down and beat the living hell out of him. Can we get a Wish Me Luck, Kumbalya, Inshallah song? Wish me luck, Kumbalya, Inshallah, Wish me luck, Balal Muhammad. You want bacon now? Yeah, smashed Patricio Pitbull. He did. Well, smashed is a... Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess he did. But Pitbull didn't do much in that fight, did he? So Turkey has more professionalism than Dana. It's sad stuff. It truly is, but Dana White has absolutely no professionalism at all. Whatever Dana White can get his hands on, he absolutely will. Can't be Islam. He's not good at getting takedowns out in the open or keeping control. Well, we will kick the list off, won't we? I guess it's time to stop pissing about with the foreplay and just get into the list, eh, boys? Barlow's title run will take this channel to the next level. This is... You thought we were JDM's fan page. No, no, no. This is a Danny Barlow Glaze page only. And we transition. Here we go, boys. We are going to be finally getting into the top 30 grapplers in the UFC. This is clearly not the finished list, obviously. I have just taken out some names that I believe have, a place in the top 30 list. This is just a starting list to begin with. These are just some names. What's up, B Fatty? Good to see you, mate. These are just some names. Obviously, this isn't finished, but here we are. We're gonna get the conversation kicked off with these fine young gentlemen here. Bilal's face is ruined. It is, mate. It is. It is absolutely ruined. Top 30 homoerotic sex simulators in the UFC. What is up? What is up, Tim? Good to see you, mate. What a bloody entrance as well, Tim. Just throwing that down there. Pitbull took a head kick. He did. So you were asking who's the best grappler or who's the best wrestler. So as you can see, it's the top 30 wrestlers, grapplers in the UFC. Top 30 wrestlers / grapplers in the UFC. That is what we are going to be going with. So it's got to be a little bit of everything. Straight away, Nacho, you can't put Islam Makhachev as number 1. Can't put Islam Makhachev as number 1. Wasn't able to hold down Alexander Volkanovski. Wasn't able to hold down Dustin Poirier. Can't have Islam Makhachev as number 1. Khamzat? Maybe. Movsar, Marab, Sean Brady. These are all solid names. These are solid names, mate. They're giving Volk layups like they did Pereira, keeping him away from the real contender. Volk is a decision merchant. Volk is a decision merchant, B-Fatty. That's true, mate. And that doesn't get brought up enough, does it? That Alexander Volkanovski takes most of his fights to a decision or a vicious TKO towards the end. However, I don't think they're trying to give Volk easy well, I think they're just trying to keep Volk away from Movsar because they don't want Movsar to get a title shot. I think that's what's going there, B-Fatty. And it's the UFC calendar dictating who is actually going to be fighting for the title. So they've booked an event in Mexico. Volk's available. Yair is there. I don't think the UFC care at all about Movsar Evloev, so just back of the line, mate. The UFC is rigged. They know Movsar and Arman are champs inevitable, so they're keeping them away from the belt. Yes, it's not rigged. It's highly manipulated. They don't tell you which way the fights are going to go, but they do everything they can to control the title picture. So whether or not you want to say it's rigged or it's scripted or it's influenced, it's totally up to you. Also, we have no idea of what's going on with all the drug testing anymore. Yeah, it's quite bad. Honestly, I don't know. Pantoja is a pretty good grappler. Pantoja is a very good grappler. Pantoja's right here, isn't he? There's Pantoja there already. No, give Volk the same energy you were giving Pereira. Volk stucking Movsar, what a pussy. I have got a great video that I'm going to record after this live stream about Alex Pereira. Look forward to tomorrow's video, Nacho. You're going to love it. Yeah, Islams and Oliveira can't be top 10 because they get takedown. Islams and Oliveira can't be top 10 because they get takedowns. What do you mean? Because they get takedowns, Tim. Where does Anshul Jabli fit into all of this? He said he can out-wrestle Khabib. Anshul Jabli, you dumb fuck. Anshul Jabli, you dumb motherfucker. Oh, I remember that. Anshul Jabli said he could beat Khabib. What's worse, Bo Nichols saying he'd be a favorite against Khamzat Chimaev, or Anshul Jabli saying he could beat Khabib? JDM doesn't have any mic skills. If he keeps dominating, I'm cool with that. But, like, bro, say something. Yeah, JDM on a microphone is anti-entertainment. It is what it is. I mean, he called Nina Drama a crazy cat lady, so at least we have that. I agree, rigged. Didn't hear what about, but it's definitely rigged. Volk is ducking no one. Yeah, I think the UFC are blocking Movsar from Volk, which sucks, man. Sucks. Magomed will retire Alex. Magomed will retire Alex. I think Magomed has already retired Alex. They're literally giving away a free belt to Ilya for beating a 35-year-old Arman already dominated. After this, they'll give Ilya, Paddy, or Dustin because they know how easily Arman beats him. After this, they'll give Ilya, Paddy, or Dustin because they know how easily Arman beats it. Yes, it would be something like that. It'll be something like that. It will be. They're manipulating the title pictures much more than they ever have before this year. Sorry, can't get takedowns. I'm with you. Can you do a video on the top 30 women's MMA feat in history? Absolutely not, Yog. We've already done your feat tier list video, you greedy pig. The Riddler is the best grappler. I don't even have the Riddler on my people of consideration. I don't even have the Riddler up here. Volk ain't ducking nothing, not even a head kick. Jesus, OTM. Must you tear us away at our soul, mate? Come on. The fight itself isn't rigged, but everything around it is. I think that's the best way to put it, right? The UFC, the fight is real. The fight is real, but anything and everything that can lead up to the fight is highly manipulated, if not rigged. Magomed will knock him out in a rematch. Maybe, yeah, maybe. Ilya starches Arman. Maybe not. Nacho, maybe not. Volk versus Jeremy Stevens, why not? The Fiddler. So, first person up for consideration. I don't know if we start off with the 30, work our way down and work our way up. You know what I mean? Because I've got Bo Nickel already all the way down the bottom. But I think it's fair to say that Colby Covington is a better MMA grappler wrestler than Bo Nickel. What's up, Crisp? Good to see you, mate. I think we can put that down. I think if we look at the bottom and then work our way up, that'll be a lot better than what we did when we did the boxing tier list, which was we started our way at the top and we worked our way down. So I think it's safe to say, and I don't think chat would be too angry at me, if I said Colby Covington had better MMA, grappling, and wrestling than Bo Nickel. I think we can start there, right? We might get to have a new light heavyweight champ inbound. Almeida called out Magomed after Magomed said nobody wanted to fight him. I don't think it'll be Almeida, but I am making a video about it that will drop tomorrow morning, 7:45 tomorrow morning. Merab is a good grappler. Merab is a great grappler, but I don't think we can start working our way from the bottom and have Merab as the 27th best grappler in the UFC. I think he deserves to be up here with these boys somewhere a little bit. Somewhere floating around the top 10, and then we'll get into it. We'll tighten it up as the night goes on. Armin's overrated by fake hardcores. I don't think he is, Nacho. I don't think he is overrated. I think he's fairly rated. He is the most intense level of competition that the current UFC lightweight champion could face. I think that's where people have him rated. And he's a big what if. And people want to answer that what if. Also, what's up with you, Crisp? I hope you're well, brother. I hope you're good, man. I don't think Islam beats Armin. Max, a fight Moik with a fixed fight shoulder. I don't think Islam beats Armin. Max, a fit Moicano with a fixed right shoulder. Ilya or JDM, he is a cheating daggy. I think Islam Makhachev beats Max Holloway, Moicano, even if Moicano had a fixed right shoulder and was 3 years younger. I don't think he beats Ilya. I don't think he beats JDM. And Armin is a 50-50 fight. Number got to beat Chimaev, but then again, he hasn't had that many fights. But he's gotten everyone out of there in the first round, Miguel. Most overrated guy in every single division is heavyweight John Jones. Light heavyweight is Khalil Roundtree. Middleweight is RDR. Welterweight is Buckley's not overrated. No, most overrated would in welterweight would be Ian Gary. Lightweight would be Paddy Pimblett. Overrated lightweight would be Moicano. Featherweight would be old washed up Volk. No. Overrated in featherweight would be most overrated fighter in featherweight right now. Probably Jan Silva. They say he's going to be a champion off beating Bryce Mitchell. Bantamweight is Merab slightly because there's no one else on a win streak, and flyweight is Manel Cap. Yeah, Manel Cap is a raging contender off having gyno and eye poking. Yeah, Volk arguably deserves a spot. We'll see, Bilal. These are just the first net. We'll see how the list pans out. I mean, I'm happy to put Alexander Volkanovski in here. I'm sure I've got a Volk somewhere here on the side. Let me get an image of Volk up. Hang on. I'm sure I've got a Volk. Here we go. So we can put Volk in there for consideration. Volk's very bloody good. We'll put Volk in here somewhere. I don't think Volk is going to end up in the top 10 grapplers, wrestlers in the UFC, but we'll chuck him in there for some consideration. If you grapple but can't get subs, you don't deserve a spot. If you can sub but you can't get takedowns, you don't deserve a spot. I think Islam beats JDM now, or you think Islam beats JDM? No, I was a misspeak. I think JDM beats Islam Makhachev. Chimaev beat the fuck out of Usman in round 1. Chimaev's very fucking good. Very fucking good. Ferguson should be 20 to 30. He didn't have the best finishes, but great scrambles and didn't tap to Oliveira. Tony Ferguson isn't in the UFC anymore. This is top 30 wrestlers, grapplers in the UFC today. I hope they give Volk Silva. I think they're going to give him Yair Rodriguez. Silva would kill old washed up Volk. No, he wouldn't, mate. No, Volk's chin is back. Silva smashes Volk. I do not like the disrespect going on in here at all. Now, Chase Hooper. Is Chase Hooper better than Colby Covington? I would argue that he is. And we know that Leon has got good takedowns, great takedowns. He can get on top of Bilal Muhammad and Colby Covington. So he must be better than Colby, but he can't be better than Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper's a better grappler than Leon. But Leon's not a bad grappler. People forget, man, Leon's got grappling. Corey Sandhagen's got grappling as well. Not his primary instinct, but I would say he's probably got better grappling than Leon. So I think this is a fair start. We're just getting things moving here. We're just getting a conversation going, all right? What's up, Dougie? I think Alex Pereira undoubtedly deserves the number 1 spot. He is 1 takedown on Big Anchor. Didn't count as a work of art. What's up, Bruce Wayne? I think Alex Pereira undoubtedly deserves the number 1 spot. His one takedown on Big Ank that didn't count was a work of art. You want Alex Pereira to be the best grappler in the UFC today, Bruce Wayne. I don't think I can quite manage that, mate. I don't know if the inflow of Russians that see this stream are going to appreciate that, brother. I saw Silva live at UFC 314. He's so fluid on the feet. He landed the perfect heel kick on Mitchell. He did, but Mitchell's striking compared to Volt's striking is not even comparable. Really, is it? I mean, so obviously, like, you can't watch the way that Jan Silva struck with Mitchell and then try and put that as a blueprint onto how he's going to strike with Alexander Volkanovski. You know what I mean, Miguel? Oh my god, grappling is so boring, even the tier list sucks. This tier list has been highly requested, Nacho, for the last... since we did the boxing list. You know this, brother. People want this. Just kidding, thank God, Bruce Wayne. So we're going to do this list, we're going to get it out of the way, and it is what it is, Nacho. But it's a good talking point, you know what I mean? We'll get there, mate. If they give Yair another shot with one win from an unranked fighter, I'm not watching that card. They are giving Yair another shot with one win from an unranked fighter. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. I'm convinced that's what's happening. I'm so sure that's what's happening. I think there is more chance of Yair Rodriguez getting the next shot at Alexander Volkanovski than there is of John Jones ever agreeing to fight Tom Aspinall in November at Madison Square Garden. I feel confident in saying that. Buckley is not close to an elite striker. He's got no jiu-jitsu or ability to control. He's just athletic enough to beat up old men without having skill. That is an insane take. That's an insane take. I don't know why you hate Buckley so much, Toad. Buckley has got plenty of skill. It's just very similar to Dricus du Plessis. It's just MMA skill that doesn't look like any other traditional martial art. It's just forward pressure. And I am believing more and more in Big 2025, there is one thing that wins you MMA fights, and that's more than anything forward fucking pressure. It's essentially what's made Khamzat Chimaev so successful. He knows he can't go for 15 minutes, so it's fucking all or nothing out of the gate. I honestly feel bad for Khamzat Chimaev's wife. I pray to God she's over 18, because he is fucking wrecking shit quickly and damagingly. Just getting good. Bat Cunt is in the house. Bruce Wayne Gate. I do love Bruce Wayne's name. I love it. Agreed, Toad. He won't get any further. Well, at least Toad's got someone backing him up. So, Toad, you and Tim are rolling together as a unit. Give me a performance that shows that Buckley is... Give me a performance that shows me Buckley is an elite striker. What's up, Big Ank? How are you, brother? Good to see you, man. I hope you're well. A performance that shows you Buckley is an elite striker. I can't, but I can't really give you a performance that shows you DDP is an elite striker either. Like, Izzy was doing really well on the feet with DDP, and DDP had to resort to his grappling. I think Buckley is one of those kind of fighters where it's almost like Ian Gary. Like, he knows... I wouldn't call Ian Gary an elite striker either, but Ian Gary knows when to strike the wrestler and when to wrestle the striker, and I think Buckley's the same, except just more physical, toe-to-thin. Finishes shouldn't matter because Strickland, Ian Gary, even John Jones are decision merchants, but they have good striking. Yeah, I mean, you can have someone who's a decision merchant but still fun. For sure, OTM. For sure, man. And you can have someone that does a bunch of decisions that it's not... a bunch of finishes and it's not interesting. You know, it's like yesterday's card, right? Like, yesterday's card was mostly finishes, but there was no storyline to them. There was no meat to them. It was just a bunch of finishes. So without anything of... flavor, it makes it a little bit dead inside. Well-rounded is better than being a one-trick pony. This is true, Crisp. It's better being well-rounded than a one-trick pony. That's true, mate. Humshot is probably the best number one grappler. Well, let's work our way up the list, Tim. Let's not ruin the number one spot so early in the night, shall we? You know, a bit of foreplay with the grappling list, I reckon, Tim. Yes, you can. DDP Strickland 2 and DDP Whitaker. DDP Strickland 2 and DDP Whitaker. I don't know, dude, because it's not really clean striking, is it, Toad? Like, he sort of launches forward like a spaz, doesn't he? Darren Till pieced up DDP 2. DDP had to wrestle. Yeah. Doug, great brother. What do you think of the Morales KO burn? Looked like Anthony Smith. We said that live, dude. Burns just sort of gave up and folded into himself, didn't he? It sucks, man. Islam subbing Charles and Moicano, surely. But what's up, No Chill? How are you, brother? Dougie needs the mate. What's up, No Chill? How are you, brother? I hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing... Hey, congrats on getting a UFC heavyweight. What was his name? Can't remember his name right now. But congrats on getting a bloody UFC fighter on the channel, mate. do an interview with. Fucking big stuff, No Chill. Big stuff coming from No Chill. Look out, boys. Make way MMA YouTube. No Chill's fucking on here. That was awesome, No Chill. Well done, man. Islam subbing Charles and Moicano surely puts him in the top 3 grappler. Again, let's not bust our load of the top 3 grapplers too early, right? Buckley doesn't beat any of the top 10. That's below 35 years old. I think Buckley beats Gary. Toad. Charles was already washed and Moicano's shoulder was injured, so they don't count for much. True. Tim, sorry, mate, but your opinion on Islam doesn't count. Yeah, Tim and Islam, the hatred is real. Now, DDP has grappling enough to win him championship fights. That has got to count for something. You know? That's got to count for some level of grappling, I feel like. He does have grappling. And he's going to need grappling to survive against Khamzat Chimaev. So DDP has some level of grappling. Although when it comes to just straight grappling and wrestling, I would say that skill for skill, Chase Hooper is probably better than DDP. Chase Hooper seems to become the new grappling tier list gatekeeper. This seems to be the gatekeeper. Chase Hooper has somehow found himself in the gatekeeper position. We've only got one. What's up, No Chill? Thank you for the 5 gifted, brother. No worries, man. Aspinall should be here. You reckon Aspinall should be in the top 30? Why do you reckon Aspinall should be in the top 30, No Chill? And thank you again for the 5 gifted, mate. That's massive, man. Thank you very much. That's like $10, mate. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Yeah, I saw Aspinall's name when I was whipping this up. And I was like, what has Aspinall done in the grappling? Like, he was able to survive Curtis Blades and blast a double leg on Arlovsky. Bang, eat chowder. Thank you so much for becoming a member, mate. Welcome to being based, mate. Welcome to being based. Not even a question. Buck beats the cut. Yeah, I think Buck runs through Ian Gary. No Chill MMA, you are the bloody goat. He is the bloody goat, mate. We love No Chill. He's a good lad. He's a good young lad with a bright future ahead of him. Then his parents should be fucking proud of him, mate. He's a good kid. I think Torres Finney. We've only seen a little bit of effort from Torres Finney, but I'm going to embarrass Bo Nickel, and I'm going to move everyone up a little bit and slot Torres Finney in here. I think I'm going to embarrass those 3 like that. Isn't Jailton a better grappler than Curtis? Yeah, Jailton Almeida would be a better grappler. I think I've got a photo of Jailton Almeida around here somewhere, actually. We've got to get Jailton Almeida on here somewhere, for sure, mate. For sure. That's a good name that I missed out on. Well done, Crispithan. Buck striking didn't look good against... Stop looking for photos of Jailton Almeida, Doug. Buck striking didn't look against Luke Rosaboyev and a 42-year-old Wonderboy. Pretty clear Gary wins 50-44 or a head kick. Yeah, I think, for as true as that is, I still think Buckley just runs through Gary, just blasts a double leg on him, top pressure, too heavy on top. I can picture Gary like retardedly thinking that he's Charles Oliveira from Shooter Box and trying to throw up submissions and none of them land. Yeah, dude, I have a clear picture in my head of Buckley just dominating Gary on the ground, Toad. No Chill, your content of late is rising along with your intellect, mate. I'm entertained more and more from Big Tim. Good on you, Tim. Yeah, No Chill's he's doing great work. If you're not subbed to No Chill, cunts, do it, I'll destroy you. There you go. Big Tim has put his fucking foot down, mate. As much as I hate to say it, I think Ian works Buckley. Do you? Interesting. Okay, fair enough. Have you heard of Conor McGregor? I username, you're not going to believe this, mate, but I have heard of Conor McGregor before. I have heard of Conor McGregor. Yep. It's a name I haven't heard in a long time, but I've heard of Conor McGregor. Just unsubbed. Oh, my God. What about Buckley's wrestling? Where is Buckley? I don't think Buckley... Yeah, Buckley said... Where would you put... Prantham, where would you put Buckley? Out of the 30 wrestlers and grapplers in the UFC, where would you put Buckley? Now, where is Jailton Almeida? Where is old Jailton Almeida? Why is this so... You know what? I'm just going to get a photo of Jailton Almeida. Jailton Almeida. ESPN headshot. Dead. Boom. See you later, mate. Jailton Almeida. Images. And save. Oh my god, he's aged horribly since being in the UFC. Truly disgusting. Upload Jailton Almeida. Because, I mean, if we got... I mean, Curtis Blades has to be in there somewhere. I mean, Curtis Blades has gotten... He's been in the top 5, although it's top 5 of heavyweight, so, you know, you got to take it with a pinch of salt. But still, you get what I'm saying, right? Like, he'd been around. All right, Jailton Almeida. He's in consideration. This is the consideration tier. Thanks for the membership, you filthy... Whoa! Joe Hogan. No need for the blatant Italian racism, mate. I think Gary destroys Buckley too. Do you all think Gary destroys Buckley? Am I the only one here? Do I stand alone? Do I walk a lonely road? The only one that I've ever known. He's a UFC black belt. Conor McGregor is a UFC black belt. Username 123. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think a UFC black belt is a thing, mate. Take off Buckley has zero ability to control on the ground. Is Buckley on this list? Yeah, nah, yeah, or nah, yeah, nah. Is Buckley on this list? Is Buckley one of the top 30 wrestlers, grapplers in the UFC today? Yeah, nah, yeah, mate, or nah, yeah, nah. Let me know, boys. Let me know. Need to see him more high-level fights. It's not proven yet. Who are you talking about, Prantham? What about Buckley's wrestling? Yeah, well, there we go. That's why we're sort of just... We're breaking this down just a little bit now. Almeida gets takedowns and subs. He's a top 5. Oh, you reckon Almeida's a top 5? Good God Almighty. You think Almeida... Tim is suggesting that Almeida is out of all these names and faces that he sees in front of us, Timmy is suggesting that Jailton Almeida is a top 5 wrestler and grappler. Ballsy, Tim. I'm going to let you know now. I'm going to be moving him. Buckley just has to get to close the gap and cage on Gary, and his big looping hooks will chin him. That's what I think, OTM. I think Buckley is going to tear through Gary. Buck whops in. On your crisp. Thank you, mate. I needed that. I felt like I was alone for a little bit. I'm just busting his balls, Dougie. He calls me Mick and a potato eater all the time. Well, then, fucking get after him, Joe Hogan. Destroy him, mate. What do you think about the accusations of JDM greasing in his fight against Bilal Ishmael? I think it's possible. Either way, I'm glad he got the win. I mean, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. So, I'm very happy that JDM greased up. Is the welterweight division not better without Bilal? Have things not been better in the UFC since Bilal was defeated? Those poll options are giving me a stroke. Sorry, Joe. So you guys don't think that Buckley deserves to be in here? 9 votes, 10 people watching. Can we get 10 likes as well on the stream? That'd be awesome, boys. Can we get 10 likes on the stream? That would be great if we could get 10 likes on the stream. That'd be awesome. I'd really appreciate it if we could get 10 likes on the stream. That'd be amazing. If we could maybe get 10 likes as well. That'd be awesome. But 9 people voted out of the 10 people. No, we do not want to see... No, we do not want to see Buckley in there. Unbelievable. Okay, alright, well, it is what it is. It is what... We'll get Buckley out of here then. Let me just clean this up a bit so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Bang, eat, shout. Alright. End poll. No Buckley. Jeez, that's brutal, mate. See ya, Buckley. Buckley, you've been yeeted. You're not on one of the top 30. Goodbye, mate. Almeida got elbowed into a complete mess while attempting to double leg against the cage. That has got to take some points off. I agree, dude. Like, I completely disagree with Tim having him as a top 5. Completely disagree with Tim having him as a top 5. No, he's not a top 5. He'll be in here somewhere. As we get past the Chase Hooper gatekeeper area, I'm sure we'll get to him. Buckley isn't good at closing the gap or cutting off the cage. Well, no, he's good at closing the gap. He's good at closing up the void by just running straight forward. He's not good at closing off the cage. That's true. Almeida out-wrestled Blades, even though he's annoying and sucky and gloriously got KO'd, but Curtis is supposed to be an amazing wrestler and didn't stand a chance. Yeah, so Almeida was doing better at the wrestling than Blades was. So that's going to be an interesting conversation when we go to split these two apart. When we go to pick apart Curtis Blades and Jailton Almeida, Obviously, Almeida has to go ahead of Blades, right? When we do figure out these two, Almeida and Blades are sort of intertwined together, and they have to go ahead of each other for sure. So whatever this works out as, Almeida's ahead of Blades. I would say he's top 5. His grappling actually leads to finishes, unlike Movzar, who might be a better grappler, but just gets decisions. Ooh, I think it balances out considering Bilal was on steroids. That is true. Bilal's on steroids, so JDM is allowed to lube himself up. So you do think... Wait, so we've got 2 arguments for putting Jailton Almeida as a top 5 grappler. Tim, you are not alone here. Crisp has come riding in to back you up on your horse here. I'm the only one who voted yes. You might have been, OTM. You might have been. He gave it a hard fight to Nolsal and Ruler Boyd, and the height and side advantage was still much. He still managed to defend that takedown. I think he can knock Gary out if Carlos can knock him out. If Carlos can knock him down, so Buckley can't. Yeah, this is what I mean, mate. Like, Ian Gary seems fragile, and Buckley seems like he would be able to power over Gary. He really struggled closing the distance against Wonderboy, who only has forward and backwards movement due to the karate stance, as opposed to Gary, who's got elite lateral movement. Yeah, Toad, all Gary's got is lateral movement, really. Just bouncing around the cage and point striking. That's true. I mean, Ian Gary's got better movement for sure, but I think Buckley can close off the cage by struggling by pushing forward quickly. You know, eventually you run out of places to bounce around to. Tim saying Islam isn't a top 5er and then saying Almeida is a top 5 when he got brutally finished in the grappling is classic Tim. Here's my take, right? I can't have Islam Makhachev as a top 5 grappler. I'm not going to have him as a top 5. When we do get to the top 5, I'm not putting Islam Makhachev as a top 5 grappler. He can't hold his opponents down the way that other people that will be in the top 5 are going to be able to. Islam's got good grappling. I don't even know by the time we nut this list out if he's going to be in the top 10. Really, I don't. I mean, even on the clinch, in the clinch and on the fence, he can't hold people against his will. Fun fact, Almeida has taken down every single opponent in the... Oh my god, Almeida might be a top 5 grappler. Buckley literally knocked Wonderboy by cutting the cage off him. Ooh, we need to go back and do some tape study. But Blade stopped Almeida's takedown and used the grappling position to finish the fight. So how is Almeida ahead? He used a counter grappling position to rain down ground and pound. Well, side of the head shots. But he didn't use actual grappling to shuck off Almeida. He did it to simply hold him there. What's up, Cheddarhead? How are you, dude? Good to see you, man. I do hate him, but he's a top 5. God damn. All right. Wonderboy tried to point strike like Ian Gary would. And Buckley... but like Ian Gary Wood, and Buckley chased him down. He isn't like Calvin Cato and just walks forward. Buckley lunges straight towards. Yeah, Buckley powers forward at you, and I do think he will end up catching Gary. Almeida lost against Blades. Will never happen again like that. It's unacceptable. You never know. You never know. Paddy is a bum. He thinks he can beat Ilya while his opponents were nobodies, and you fought nobodies. Absolute nobodies. He did look very good against Michael Chandler. I think Ilya can beat Paddy Pimblett, but he did look very good against Michael Chandler. Jailton Almeida is in the top 5. He was out-grappled by Sergey Spivak. He's an amazing grappler. Gary smokes JDM, Dougie. No, Ian Gary smokes JDM. No, Joe Horgan. No, Joe Horgan. Benny is going to put Moicano into a pretzel. What does he do? So the center of the list here is we're just thinking out loud here. We've started from the bottom and we're working our way up, and all this is just thinking. This is all just thinking. This is just... None of this is locked in. This is all just having a think about it. This is just throwing ideas around. These boys here, these are just throwing ideas around. None of this is locked. They're the top and the bottom. The bottom is all we've worked up so far. Yeah. So far we've gone from Bo Nickel all the way up to Chase Hooper. And Chase Hooper seems to be our gatekeeper of grappling in the UFC. Yep, that's what we're doing. Jailton was not out-grappled by Spivak. He dominated that fight. He absolutely dominated that fight. Yeah, we need people to be honest in their bloody assessments here, because I can't remember every single fight. But I'll let my brother... Gigacoma have the shine for now. Gigacoma. I just said I'm done for the day and listening to a degenerate really escaping UFC stream, so don't call until tomorrow. I just said I'm done for the day and listening to a degenerate. Are you using voice to text, Tim? Are you talking to your wife or something? And it's coming through on the speakers. Islam's ability to submit high-level opponents is way more impressive than being able to smudge someone against the wall for a round. What the fuck is your criteria? Well, submit high... Yeah, notice how I haven't got jiu-jitsu in here, Nacho. I've got wrestling, grappling. Can Islam Makhachev blast a double leg on someone and hold them down? Most of the time, no. Not at the higher level of fights that he has been in his championship levels. Can Islam Makhachev hold someone up against the cage? A lot of the time, they seem to wince out of it. I understand that Islam Makhachev can lock up a submission, but that doesn't make him a great grappler or submission artist. What's up, TCW? We're finally bloody getting to it, mate, just like you requested. Until he faces the future. Mikhail is... Michael Chandler is washed up. Everybody looks great against Chandler. Yeah, but Paddy looked better against Chandler than Oliveira did. Where's Grant Dawson? Where is Grant Dawson? I think he's hiding back here somewhere. No, that's Gamrot. No, Grant Dawson isn't in here. We'll see. We'll see what we can do about Grant Dawson. We'll see if we can squeeze him in. Almeida is top 5 for sure, and I can't stand him. Wow. Buckley was... I can't believe Almeida is getting many votes to be in the top 5. Buckley was able to get a fluke comeback KO on a 42-year-old Wonder Boy by backing him up and forcing the Karate Guy to square his stance. Gary's lateral movement will be the difference. All right, fair enough, Toad. I get the picture you're painting. I get it. Damn, Doug, you can't even say JDM's first real name. Jack Della Maddaleno. No, what is his name? Giga Chimano? I can't remember it right now. No, that was a phone call, bro. Sort of broken up. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I remember, man. Of course. People are shitting on Chandler so much he doesn't... Make sure you don't get too far behind, Dougie. People are shitting on Chandler so much he doesn't stand toe-to-toe with these elite fighters and actually make it into a fight. Only reason is his single-digit fight IQ. I mean, he tried to fight a little bit smarter against Charles Oliveira and it didn't seem to go his way. What's up, Eric? How are you, brother? Damn, just when I thought this list couldn't get any more boring, you take away the only good fact about grappling. Yes, this is a smudges list, Nacho. Smudging, wrestling, and grappling. Not jiu-jitsu, smudging. Where's the shirt at? In the bin behind me, mate. Where's Paddy Pimlich? Interesting. We want Paddy Pimlich. So I'm guessing we need to add Paddy Pimlich and we need to add Grant Dawson to the list, don't we? Grant Dawson? Is that what we just said? Did we just say Grant Dawson? Other parameters between submission offense and defense, takedown offense. Okay, so take submissions out of your head. This is takedowns. Takedown defense, cage grappling, up against the cage. This is grappling. This is the grappling wrestling list. Take submissions out of your head. Because Nacho did the same thing as well. So this isn't submissions. This is the pressure. The pressure. Which is why we've got Bilal and Marab in here. You know, like if this was takedowns and wrestling, technically Bilal Muhammad would actually be really low on the list. Because as we found out recently, Bilal Muhammad has only landed like 20 takedowns out of his 115 attempted takedowns in the UFC. So this is wrestling, grappling, takedowns, control. Yeah, exactly, TCW. Takedowns, control, wrestling, and grappling. Yeah, wrestling and grappling. At risk of being banned, Paddy should probably be considered in the consideration tier. I agree. No, Paddy, I got to catch up on the chats and then I'll get Paddy Pimblett in here. You're right. I should have put Paddy Pimblett and Grant Dawson in. What's up, Skynet? Good to see you, man. Makhachev is wrestling, judo, chip and throw. That's more impressive than Shavkat's. Yeah, no, look, Makhachev's obviously in here, and he might end up being higher than Shavkat. Simply kudos for sure, dude. Paddy is top 5. So is Moicano. Paddy is not top 5. No, Paddy Pimblett is not a top 5. Giga Chad Jack Della Maddalena. He's so Giga Chatted up. It's in his bloody name, mate. Mario Batista. Oh, God. Put Paddy at 20. All right, I'll circle back and grab Paddy at 20. Nacho, could you slow us down a bit so I can catch up? Maybe 15 seconds. Carlos Prates was landing like Ian Gary when Gary backed up towards the cage and caught him slips away. Buckley won't freeze when he rocks Gary like Prates. No, Buckley, that's the thing. Like, Buckley will never freeze. He will always push forward. Always. If we're being honest, Ilya's resume is equally as impressive as Ilya, if not more than Islam. So both were justified in moving up. What do you think, Dougie? No. I think Islam was justified in moving up because he had 4 or 5 title defenses. And he had done the favor to the UFC of fighting the weight class below him's guy coming up twice. Ilya Topuria just got to the belt and had Movzarev, Loyev, Arnold Allen, and even Jan Silva to get through as well. Still, so no, I don't think Ilya should have moved up, and I don't think Islam should have been stripped either. Grant Dawson is such a good smudger because he's got good back takes and a locker. Yeah, I've got to get Grant Dawson in here, Toad. You're not wrong. Shavkat is like Islam can't control, can't take cunts down. True. Well, no, Shavkat can judo trip you. I'll root for Jack to beat everyone except the cuck. Really? You think Ian Gary's going to beat Jack Della Maddalena? Yo, Dougie, what's up? Sorry, got busy today. You're all good, Skynet. Welcome, man. I hope your classes are going well. I think Ilya is better than Bad Khan. I think Ilya is better than Islam, too. I think Islam is better than Ilya. Never forget, Benny absolutely schooling Gamrot at the grappling. That is going to count against Gamrot when we get to him. In that case, is Merab not number one? Is Merab not number one? I don't know. When you compare him to Hamzat Chimaev, who do you think is more effective? Who do you think's got the edge, Bilal's good eye? Because with no submission involved, we aren't going full grappling section. Aljo is an odd one since he lives on mat returns, single legs, and back patting opponents for rear naked attempts. Yeah, but Aljo, it's very rare to shuck Aljo off, isn't it? Once Aljo's on you and he's getting started, very hard to shuck him off. You know, where someone like Islam and all that, it's easy to shuck. Well, not easy, but easier to shuck them off. I would say Hamzat is the only one there right now that actually chains locked takedowns from one to the next and holds top position better. Almeida does chain well, but he has gotten reversed a couple of times. Yeah, Paddy and Moika top 5. You cannot put Paddy Pimblett at the top 5. No, with no submissions involved, Paddy can't be involved. I mean, Paddy can have top pressure for sure. Other dudes need striking to set up their takedowns. True. Buckley will freeze when Gary head kicks him unconscious. When Ian Gary head kicks Buckley unconscious, then he is going to freeze. Jesus Christ. All right, so Paddy Pimblett, ESPN headshot, and Grant Dawson coming up. Save that. Done, and Grant Dawson. I can't put Paddy Pimblett in the top 5. I can't. That's insane to me. And now, because I know that I put 30 names in here to get this started. We now have more than 30 names in here, which means we're going to need to delete some people. So, there's Paddy, there's Grant Dawson. So, I suggest, and again, these guys are all just being considered. I suggest now that we've added people to this list, we should be deleting DDP and Leon Edwards. What do you think, guys? I think DDP and Leon Edwards should get deleted, right? Because we have more than 30 people here. So we think failing takedowns and just smush cage is better than getting takedowns and control. Like Merab is just spamming takedown attempts while Hamzat actually takes them down and controls. Yeah, so in my hierarchy, simply kudos, I think that getting takedowns and controlling someone counts for more than Merab Divilashvili just constantly spamming takedowns. So if you were to say, who is a better grappler? Who's got better wrestling and better grappling, right? Even though Merab Divilashvili got to a belt using his grappling and his takedowns, I would argue that Anthony Fluffy Hernandez has got better wrestling and grappling because it's more effective and he does more damage and doesn't let people go. Like, I would also argue, just for what we're doing here, I would say Anthony, because he does damage and keeps control, is above Aljo, who just gets control, and Aljo is above Marab, who just consistently What's up, Base Gotti? Good to see you, man. And Aljo is above Marab, who just consistently tries to get takedowns again and again and again. That's sort of the way that I'm looking at this. Does that make sense, chat? Are you sure you can't put Paddy in top 5? I'm sure you can't put Paddy in top 5. Already there's 3 people there that are better than Paddy. Already there's 3 people there. I like how Buckley claims he was losing at 185 because the guys were too big for him, but the 2 guys who slept him, Chris Curtis and Kevin Holland, are actually both 170-pounders. Don't ruin the mystique of Buckley, Joe Hogan. What? No subs? This isn't a grappling tier list like this list more because it excludes Islam, but yeah, agreed on those rules. No Paddy in top 5. Yeah. No, I know, but you can't, because then it comes into... If we put submissions into this, it'll quickly turn into a submissions tier list. It's safe to say Usman is slightly behind Hamza. So you reckon however high up Hamzat ends up going, you think however high up Hamzat Chimaev ends up going... I haven't even got Kamaru Usman here anymore. I don't even have Kamaru Usman here anymore. Let me read some chats. Bro, you forgot JDM in the first spot because he's fucking built different. That's right. Shit, I missed where I'm up to. Sorry, guys. I'm catching up. Hang on a second. He's fucking built different. Leon is gone. How much can we separate control from submission positions, though? You're right. That's a hard top separate algebra. Even Olympic athletes, so had met difficulties defending... How much can we separate control from position submissions, though? You are right. Hard to... Well, think about it like this, right? If you're in enough control where you're constantly getting submissions, your grappling is just as good as if you're in enough control to constantly be getting ground and pound. Like... If you're getting submissions out of your grappling, then your grappling is progressing to such a point where you're moving past them being able to defend it to actually finishing them. So I think in the hierarchy of effective grappling, it goes, how good are you at actually getting them down, right? How good are you at actually getting them down? So to me, Paddy Pimblett, he's just got a judo throw at getting people down. Well, Marab, he's just spamming people. Paddy Pimblett can actually just judo throw them and get them down. Aljamain Sterling can keep control but can't submit you. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez can get you down, keep control, and ground and pound you, and it leads to a finish. So I think how effective is your grappling from the spectrum of starting your grappling to getting a finish somehow? 100% delete Leon. Delete Leon. Leon's gone. See ya, Leon. You're gone. Andre Dickus Duplessis. Biggest Dickus Duplessis is also gone. See ya, mate. You're done, mate. You're absolutely done. 100% delete here. Hamzat is S tier. Oh, Buckley also gets slept by Alessio Dachuro, and Ian will knock him out the exact same way. Ian's not knocking out Buckley, mate. Get out of here. However, the threat of a submission is heavily necessary to some of these guys' game plan. Paddy has the pressure too, but when he takes guys down, beside Wash Chandler and Tony, how hard is it for him that... How hard is it for him to stop bouncing around, chat, to get top position when his opponent isn't grappling him initially? However, the threat of a submission is heavily necessary to some of these guys' game plan. Paddy has to pressure, but who's he taken down besides Wash Chandler and Tony? How hard is it for him to get top position when his opponent isn't grappling him initially? I mean, that's what you're going to have to take into account. Like, how good is Paddy's grappling skill for skill if someone was actually trying to take him down back? 2 of Islam's title defenses were short-notice opponents who shouldn't have received a title shot, while his other defense was against Dustin Poirier on a one-fight win streak against the 13th ranked guy. Not Islam's fault. He rocked up on the day every single time. He was available to fight Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira wasn't available to fight him. He was available to fight Arman Tsarukyan. Arman Tsarukyan wasn't available to fight him. It's not Islam Makhachev's fault that the people that he was in there to fight didn't go his way. Marab embarrassed Adagi, and for that we have to love him and falsely rank him at S tier. We can love him in our hearts, Gotti, but we can't put him at S tier, mate. We can't put him at S tier. Ilya defended 2 of the top 3 featherweights of all time. He did. Ilya's name's value is really good, but I don't think he's done enough work there yet. Get a top position when his opponent isn't grappling him initially. Yep. Agree with Base Gotti. L tier list. People are really saying Chris Curtis' son has a chance against JDM. The boxing is leagues apart. Buckley is getting hyped up too much for beating 2 40-year-olds. who won't fight again back-to-back. That is true. He is getting a lot of hype, but I think he's got more forward pressure in MMA than Ian Gary does. I think Ian Gary is getting too overhyped for losing to Khamzat Chimaev and then nearly getting finished by Carlos Prates, ranked number 13th. What do you think about that, mate?